Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Sunny at W.O.R.K.S World, and I am here pondering life and life's paths and reflecting on some conversations over the last few weeks, and in light of what's happening and shifts that are happening, just looking at the macro again. So we talked about that before, the macro and the micro. So when we're having big changes in our lives, we come to a pinnacle point of which way do we go. We make a choice. Making the choices often isn't just our own decision, but one thing that's coming up, and I'm noticing more and more of, is the times that people are deciding now that I'm making my choices for myself. There's common themes coming up. Excuse me. So when we make our own choices, sometimes it's not the easiest thing to do, and the aftermath of that is not always what we anticipated it to be. Recently, I had a client say that she now knows to expect the unexpected, and I thought that summed it up quite nicely, because we don't know what to expect. When we're staying in the path of do the same of what we've already been doing, we've heard it so many times that we kind of have an understanding of what that cycle looks like, and I would even go as far as what that circle looks like. But then when we take that decision of doing something that we don't know what's going to happen, what usually happens is the spiral grows, or it ascends, or it might go round, whatever happens, but usually it's full of unexpected things. So that's why today I wanted to talk about that process, and that once we start actually making more decisions that are coming from ourselves and that are not influenced by other people, and it's coming from a place of really following our heart, there are usually things like being aware that things like surrendering is going to come up. So when we truly surrender, we often hear about surrendering and what does it really mean, and it could be a combination of different things for a lot of people, but generally it's just giving up, but not giving up in the sense of being passive, just giving it up, just handing it over. And I know that sounds really obvious, but then when we actually go into the energetics of it and just go into that mindset of handing it over, we can often feel then where we are being held back. Excuse me. So then letting go of expectations, other people's expectations of ourselves, expectations that we've put there, expectations of where our journey is going, expectations of how we're getting there, and really letting the path form in front of us. So in that surrendering of just giving it over, the whole landscape may be shifting in front of us. And in that process also, there are also other things that come up, that there might be elements of forgiveness that might be called upon. So in order to step over something, it may have been an inability or unwillingness to forgive something, and that's what's been keeping us in a circle. And then going to the other side of allowing that forgiveness to come in, and then allowing that other choice to come in, allowing that other path to come in, allowing that other landscape to come in. And then, which then brings us on to another tier of it, which could be the healing process from the forgiveness, from the surrendering, which is going to have a whole other set of maybe unfamiliar things that can throw us off at times. And then the worthiness. So just having healed and surrendered and let go of expectations, we're going to have a change and a shift in the worthiness. Maybe our worthiness goes up, maybe our self-worth, all the different worthiness category, we'll say, it's going to have a whole different set of changes and shifts that are going to happen too. So from that one decision, I really do hope that we all understand that that's the need for compassion for ourselves, because there's so many different offshoots that come from that one decision, that's what makes it so difficult. But if we break it down and be aware of what those things can be, it may be more easier for us to be a bit more readied for that decision, and then therefore not be so scared, not be so fearful, and actually feel empowered more so in making that decision. So through the energy alchemy that I do, it's easy to decipher now that the ones who are 99%, 100% or more dedicated to making that change, because you can feel their arms are open, you can feel their heart open, you can feel their mind open to whatever it will be, whatever comes, let it be. Because the path of that circle is just not holding enough. So there's no other choice but to go the other way. And that dedication to their own future, to their children's future, to, if they have children, or their spouse's future, to all the people in their sphere who they're going to be influencing, that's a dedication that they put on the line. And I want to commend everyone who's doing that for the courage it takes, for the strength it takes, and for the persistence to then know you've got to carry on. Because once you start going up the mountain, there's only, you either walk back down, but you want to go back up, or you've got to go round. And so once you start the journey, it's pretty much, you can't look back. And in looking back, there's often so many changes that have happened that you're going to have to continue. So again, compassion, self-love, and remembering it's not an easy journey. It's not an easy journey at all. So this is why through the work and some projects that are coming up, and some just ideas that are coming up, and holes that I myself in my practice, or in my personal practice, feel that can be strengthened, is just getting a vast amount of tools. More tools, the more empowered. And then you're covering all those different tangents and all those offshoots and ups and downs, and you've got that ready for you then, because then when you're going through the cycle again, you're going to be ready with, okay, I feel this feeling and I recognize this feeling. What did I use last time? Maybe I can use that again. But then if that doesn't work this time, you've got a selection. So I really do feel like there's a big benefit in having a nice, heavy, hefty, full toolbox to nurture ourselves. And I'm meaning beyond affirmations, beyond meditation, beyond fitness, beyond quite a few of the mainstream ones. And it's literally a whole array, a rainbow of tools. And I really want to bring that forward more so, especially as we're in the second month of this year now. We're on the first day of the second month, and in light of a lot of things that are happening, which I don't want to go into, I don't want to give it anything but love, and knowing that some things are just the way they are because they are that way. So the best part we can be playing is empowering ourselves, making sure we are prepared for anything, that we are on a micro level and on a macro level doing our maximum to keep a calm, to keep the love going, to keep the peace within us, to keep the peace within our homes, to keep the peace within our workspace, to keep the peace within our community, and to just look at each other and know that if somebody else is needing a tool, we can pass it on, that we can share these. And they're not tangible, they come from here, and they come from here. So there's no shortage of how these can be shared. It's just now collecting it and asking us all to join together. Asking us all to join together and share these tools, share the love, share the peace, and really join hands. So we're all going into new territories physically, emotionally, psychologically, and it doesn't matter how many times we've been through the process. When you're going into a bigger space, it's a different level. It's a different intensity. So we have to have that period of recalibration. We have to have that period of collecting ourselves again. And as you see, the vulnerabilities that come up and things like that. I have just gone through a certain change. Again, clearing out a lot of energies, but at the moment I'm feeling raw. I'm going to be honest, I'm feeling raw because of what's happening, and I just want to bring in more love. And I just want to bring in bigger arms for bigger hugs and just get more arms linked. Therefore, being ready for the overwhelms, being ready for the unknowns, and reframing it so that we are ready. That we are ready any given moment, and that we can pass these on to our children. We can pass them on to neighbours. We can keep them in our hearts for ourselves, because sometimes even ourselves, it's difficult to stop spinning out when there's so much energy going around. There's so much bombardment in the media of certain things. So just keeping it there, at hand, at heart, at mind, at soul for ourselves. So to conclude, I think the biggest part of this is I, in this time, want to find more ways of sharing tools. And I already know that I'm going to be turning to Marina for some advice for some of this. And really just feeling into it, bringing in more compassion, deeper compassion, more sincerity, and for ourselves, for others, and just taking a step back. And whenever we are seeing chaos around us or hearing chaos around us, just try and ground it for ourselves so that we can ground others around us. So I'm wishing you a lovely week, and I hope to see you next week. And this is Sunny at Radio Works World. Have a great evening, or morning, or afternoon. Peace and love.